the selection phase. A nightmare world of physical pain and mental torture. Disorientated, continually soaked, no decent meals. A way of getting rid of all the weaklings. Enough to crack the strongest man, I can show you.
You don't know your name! You don't know who you are! You don't know where you come from! You can't even write! You're a f***ing dumb! You're an idiot! Get that piece of f***ing cherry in glass! Get him out!
You could call it rejection, not selection. The role of the SAS, in fact, is many roles. Depends on the war, it depends on who the enemy is, it depends on what the job is. In Malaya and Borneo, the regiment was fighting jungle fighters. In Dhofar, we were fighting communist-inspired desert fighters, basically. A totally different form of warfare. We can fight in built-up areas, as in Northern Ireland, a siege at Princess's Gate. The role is so varied and covers so many fields of warfare, you could call us universal soldiers.
The SAS is the best trained regiment in the world. Its soldiers are chosen through the toughest selection process there is. Very few men are able to survive this test. Much of what we do is secret and cannot be shown. What you will see are the things that make us different, that makes us the best, that ultimately sets us apart from the rest.
Someone once said to me, are SAS soldiers better than any other soldiers? What we have to realise firstly about the SAS is this. One, soldiers are drawn from all of Her Majesty's forces. Navy, RAF, Royal Marines, Parachute Regiment. And each one of them that joins a squadron is actually an ambassador of his regiment. What you're looking for is first of all physical fitness, determination, the will to carry on when he wants to give in, to be able to go through a pain barrier if you like, guts and determination and professionalism. This is what the SS are looking for.
The first phase of selection is a series of forced marches across the Brecon Beacons. You have to achieve a distance of 4 kilometers an hour, carrying heavy weights. The times for the marches are set by the directing staff, abbreviated DS.
When he is scrutinised by a training wing instructor, he will be able to tell in a short period of time, because of the severe stress you put under, what kind of a character, what kind of a personality you possess. And selection is very good at identifying that area of a person's build-up.
The weight in the Bergen is initially made up by essential equipment. This is foul weather gear, sleeping bags, medical equipment, distress flares. The food carried is your rations for the day, which consists of 2 or 3 bread rolls, probably a couple of Mars bars, some crisps, a normal army issue haver bag basically, plus a 24-hour ration pack, which is only to be opened in emergency.
Well, coming from the Royal Engineers, I wasn't particularly good at tabbing, so I found it a hell of a strain the first week. Poor British Army boots of that time, they just give you blisters, and I immediately ended up with feet covered in blisters, and that was the worst part of selection. Every morning having to pull your socks and your boots on over these seep-in, septic, throbbing blisters. Agony. And then you're expected then to do a 15, 20k tab, whatever the test of the day was.
Every single day people fall out, be it through injury or being withdrawn by the directing staff for failing to make marches that day. Increasing weights, increasing distances, you eventually progress to the ultimate march, the ultimate physical test, which is the endurance march. This is a march of a distance of 65 kilometres, carrying 55 pounds of weight and a rifle. The timing you have to complete this is approximately in 22 hours.
Just like this now.
Anybody can run around and get fit, they can spend weeks training, but if they've got underlying character defects which come out in a stress situation, what are they going to be like when they first come under fire? I mean, that's extreme stress and pressure, and this is what these exercises are designed for, to bring this sort of stuff out before it's too late, before people's lives are in danger.
Once you've passed the first 4 weeks physical selection, there's a great deal of euphoria felt by the students themselves because they've achieved a great deal. You'll start off with perhaps anything up to 200 students. From that, perhaps you're left with 30 or so students. You then go on to up to a 4-week training phase, during which time you do various foreign weapons, range work, etc.
Safety on the G3 rifle, gentlemen. Cock the weapon, look inside, make sure there are no rounds in the chamber. Let your working parts go forward, take your safety catch off, squeeze your trigger, apply the safety catch again, and that is your weapon cleared.
You're constantly assessed, constantly.
Move slightly
There's
forward.
a great deal of pressure on you because you're being taught new skills. You have to assimilate those skills very rapidly and then produce the goods in front of the eyes of the instructors who are there to assess you.
Ease, spring. What we're going to run through now is the load, the unload and the make safe. Stand by. Loud! Dave, apply your safety catch here. Come on, come on, come on. Make safe!
It's extremely important that you can familiarise yourself and effectively use all foreign weapon systems. When operating worldwide, operating with indigenous forces, you must have the ability to pick up that weapon and use it effectively.
To your right. Kneel in position. Hip! Advance. About turn. Stop! Apply your safety catch. Okay, you're leaning too far into it, you're leaning too far in. Just stand to the side, will you? Now watch. Up! Okay. Up! 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 Turn to your right.
Driving is an extremely important skill within the regiment. You have to have the ability to use a car as a means of getting out of hazardous situations. When you're involved in VIP protection, escort drills, we are suddenly confronted with an attempt on your life or someone who's your duty to protect, and you have to carry out various manoeuvres to enable you to escape from that incident.
He's in reverse. A bit sharp on us, but he got the car round, took back off and he made a good getaway there. Back again! Right, he's in reverse. He's changing to neutral. Going into first gear, taking back off again. You see that? Well done. Swings in reverse. Takes off in first again. You have that. As soon as he goes into the turn, moves into first gear.
Also during the continuation, we'll do demolition skills, medical skills, patrol skills, and how to react under enemy fire. Then you'll go to the jungle, where all these drills and skills will be enhanced upon, practiced, tested.
It's a hard month, a very difficult month, and again a test of your personality and character, because if you suffer from claustrophobia, it soon starts to show in the jungle because of the close quarters of the vegetation, the jungle canopy. All you can just see is sort of green, a sea of green all around you. And we've had guys fail because it brought out claustrophobia, and they just couldn't stand being cooped up in the jungle. And of course, sickness fails a few, because you can soon catch some weird and wonderful tropical diseases in the jungle. There are plenty of them around, and many guys have failed because they've got all that way, and then some insect has bitten them, and the health has deteriorated, and they've been medevaced out of the jungle, never to be seen again.
And out of potential 30 to 40 extremely motivated candidates, you will lose another 50% during this phase. But the final test is still to come.
The idea about the manhunt in the escape and evasion phase of selection and training is to give the guys some idea what it's like to evade an enemy force, to be on the run, to have to live off the land, to try and escape from dogs, helicopter searches, troops on the ground moving in extended line through wooded areas. It's to give the guy that feeling of self-sufficiency.
You are set loose in an old, ill-fitting army greatcoat held together by a piece of string. A pair of old baggy trousers, a pair of boots tied together with a bit of string, and set off into the night. You give them a short head start. You have a button compass and a sketch map. You're not allowed to use roads. You're not allowed to use tracks. You're not allowed to enter buildings. And you are constantly pursued by a hunter force, using all the modern technology available to them.
It's designed to put you under severe stress. Depending on when you get caught, depends how much stress that you have to go through. For example, they do a 7-day exercise, and if you got caught on day 1, then you've got 6 days of stress and interrogation. Captured by a combat formation that's just been in action, they may have taken a lot of casualties. Some of those guys may have lost their mates. They're not going to treat you kindly. They're going to be thinking, these bastards have done my mates, let's do them. We know it's only an exercise, but if this person is of a weak mind and he's going to crack on an exercise, he's not going to last 5 minutes in enemy hands.
When captured, you are mentally and physically drained. You are under no illusion that that was the easy bit. For the next 36 hours, the screws will be turned.
The reason why when you're captured you are in fact strung up in a stress position, this is to find if the mind can survive the boredom and the stress of being suspended in that position for long periods of time. It also very much weakens the will to refuse to answer questions, to refuse to sign documents. If you're a weak-willed person, you're looking at that document and thinking, I don't want to go back in that stress position. I'm going to sign this document. Get me out of here.
Get your legs up! Turn your legs up! Come on, guys!
You are pushed to the absolute limit that an exercise would allow. This, again, is an attempt to simulate rough handling by an enemy force, because if you're going to crack on an exercise, you sure as hell are going to crack in the hands of some bent and twisted third world country.
At no stage do you ever see any other candidates. If you'd ever attempt to remove your sandbag, immediately result in failure.
There was one particular exercise that used to be carried out where you were put into a little hut that was no bigger than a dog kennel and locked in it. It had a corrugated iron roof, and the guards would beat the roof with chains. The sound was horrendous. Now, if you're a person that suffers from claustrophobia, that brings it on very quickly. And this rapidly becomes a mental condition. It's a play on phobias.
All this stuff is constantly gone around you. You're extremely knackered. You haven't slept. You haven't eaten. You haven't drank. You're physically knackered. You're mentally knackered. What you must do is always, always keep your mind focused.
This is classic disorientation. An old favourite used to be handcuffing you to the railway line, and then you'd hear the rolling stock coming down the line. Unbeknown to you, because you're hooded of course, unbeknown to you there was a set of points a few feet away from your body where the rolling stock would miss you, but you didn't know this, and all you could hear is the rolling stock rumbling down the rail. Just another attempt to completely stress you out, weaken your will, frighten you to death basically.
It has been known for hard men, people who perceive themselves as hard men, to physically and mentally break down to sobbing wrecks during this process.
This is a test of your mental capacity to face up to an interrogator and basically pit your wits against him.
Take that blindfold off. A bit warmer in here, son, isn't it? You okay? What's your number?
2463783.
If you come through that, you could say that all facets of your character, personality, physical build-up has been tested.
What's your first name?
Can't answer that question, sir.
Don't you know your first name?
Can't answer that question, sir.
What unit are you in, son?
Can't answer that question, sir.
Don't you know what unit you're in?
Can't answer that
Your
question.
name's Wayne, is that correct? Is your name Wayne? Well, I know your name's Wayne, why don't you tell me it? What's your name, son?
I can't answer that question.
Don't you know your own fucking name?
I can't answer that question.
Okay, I'll tell you what I've got here.
Most selections lose people who've been fit, they've gone over the Brecon Beacons, good timings, they've been in the jungle, good map reading, and then when they're pitted against an interrogator who's putting them under mental torture, it just proved too much. They blow a fuse, can't hack it, and all that they did before, waste of time. They're out of it.
I'm there, okay? Just get on with that, son.
I can't do that, sir.
What's wrong, son? Can't you read?
I can't do that.
Can't you read? There's something wrong with you? You fucking dumb! You don't even know your fucking name! You can't write! What is wrong with you, man?
Can't do that, sir.
What's your name?
Can't do
What
that.
unit are you in?
Can't answer that.
Where do you come from? You come from Gloucester, son! I know you come from Gloucester! Sign that form! I said sign it! Can't you write, son? Didn't you go to school? Didn't you go to school? Do you want to get back to the compound, man? Do you want to get back to the compound?
Can't answer that question, sir.
I can send you back to the compound anytime I want. Sign those fucking forms! Sign them! Guards! Get that piece of shit out of the fucking wall! Let's go to the wall! Are you fucking dumb, son? Did you go to school? Do you don't even know who you are? Where do you come from? What's your name? What's your unit? Can't you fucking write? Can you write? Sign those forms! Sign them! Guard! Get that fucking piece of shit back to the compound! Get him out! Get him out of here, you scum!
It's very difficult to gauge the length of time that you've been enduring questioning. At some stage, you'll be taken out and you think to yourself, there we go, another one. Get yourself geared up for it. Only be taken into a different room, your hood being removed, and there's the DS directing staff that you recognise and know. There'll be food there, there'll be tea or coffee there, he'll have a big smile on his face, he'll hold out his hand, shake your hand and say, for you, the war is over.
And even when you've finished, you don't know whether you've passed, because you wait outside the selection troop office and you're called in individually. And I went in and I'd passed, and it was great. What satisfaction. And it is brilliant to get that wing dagger. Brilliant.